อาจารย์
สวัสดีค่ะ everyone
สวัสดีค่ะท่านอาจารย์
สวัสดีครับท่านอาจารย์สวัสดีครับ
สวัสดีค่ะ
Yes, I think the sister would like to say something, so we invite her to speak now in Vietnamese. Các con mời cô ạ.
Trong buổi pháp đàn vừa qua thì câu hỏi của con là thiện pháp nó hỗ trợ cho trí tuệ như thế nào, thì con rất là rõ về vấn đề đó. Thì con có một cái suy nghĩ là trí tuệ thì phát triển cùng với thiện pháp, nhưng mà nó có thể trở thành ba la mật, vì người đó, vì mình đã hiểu về bản chất của nền tảng, nhưng mà cái gì được làm duyên cho trí tuệ sanh khởi khi mà thời điểm đó không, cái kiếp đó không có duyên để cho được nghe chánh pháp á, thì có thể được hiểu như thế nào ạ?
In one of the previous discussion, I raised the question about in what way kusala supports understanding, and your answers helped me to clarify many of my doubts. But I have another thought, which is about in the lives where there's no hearing of the Dhamma, how can understanding arises in those lives? Can you help me to clarify this point? Thank you.
I think it's very difficult to understand about the accumulations which have been developed over so many lifetimes, so many aeons. For example, for the Bodhisattva, when he was born as an animal, and there seemed to be understanding and great kusala, who can understand the complexity of the accumulated habits and tendencies and when they will arise. Like in this life, why for some understanding and wise considering began to develop, even just hearing a little bit, or even it seemed there was some careful considering even before hearing the teachings. So it all depends on the habits and the tendencies that have been accumulated for so long. But what we can say is in this life, unless it is the case of a Sammasambuddha or a Jaka Buddha, there has to be the hearing about the truth. By hearing, I mean hearing or reading, coming across the truth in order for understanding to develop. But perhaps Ajahn would like to add more.
There is seeing right now. How can there be the understanding of that which is now appearing as it is? No one thought about it. Even thinking what seeing is not there at all. But can there be a moment of thinking about seeing? It sees, for sure. Seeing sees, no one there at all. So how can it be other being It has to be only the being which sees at that moment. But in truth, what is the nature of seeing? No one can have any understanding of the truth. It sees, that's all. It's not the eye and it's not the visible object. It's real, it sees, but what is it? I see. Wrong or right? Because whatever is that arises and falls away unknowingly, instantly. So, as seeing be I and it's gone, whereas I never be any I at all, only different realities, without any word of truth about what is there, one by one as it is. How can there be even thinking about whether it's true or not? No one seeing is just seeing. That's why, as much as one can think about it, it's not all the time. There must be hearing in between and so on, but no understanding of the ultimate truth of each moment. What is seeing? What is hearing? What is thinking? It's there and then gone all the time. So, how can it be someone or something? Because before arising, it's not there. And when it's there, because it has a reason and then gone. Does this idea arise by out of the blue, or to be a person who is interested to understand the truth? But even so, like the Bodhisattva, before his enlightenment, he had such interest about the truth, developed little by little to consider the truth until condition is ready, its moment of enlightenment. But before that, he had to listen to the word of truth from the enlightened one, the Buddha, at that time. That's why no need to think about the past or the future, because it's useless try to find out how the past was conditioned to arise and how will next moment or what is there in life, not now but in the future, can arise. It's only thinking, not much how long we think about it. It just think around and around, but no more understanding of the truth. But hearing the word of truth from the enlightenment, what is there is real and it sees. So it's the reality which arises to experience an object, little by little, to be truthful to the characteristic of that which is there, not by oneself, not by ignorance or wishing to understand, try to think, try to consider, try to understand what is there. But how can it be known? Even the word of truth, like it's there, see, how much understanding of it. It is it. It's no one. It's just a reality. It's only the moment of seeing that sees. The other moment cannot see, and so on. That's why the truth is hidden. Long, long, long time ago. So it's still there when it's hidden. But when it's there, beginning to understand, it doesn't matter from who or any word. But without the word of truth, there cannot be condition to consider the truth. That seeing is not permanent, and no one can make it arise at all because it's already there right now. So only hearing, considering more about the ultimate truth of a moment as it is, begin to understand that even understanding is not permanent and it cannot be anyone. Any reality just arises by conditions, arising and falling away. No one at all. Is that true or not true? Beginning to learn to understand the truth. That is the most precious moment in each life, to understand the truth. of what is there. No matter what word is heard. For example, memory. It's there right now. It remembers what appears, what heard, and so on. That's why in the day, memory is always there, arising and falling away with any moment of that which arises and experiences the object. Is that true? Just learn to understand the truth, that it's no one, no thing, it's nothing before it arises, and then that it's something when it's there arising, and then nothing again. Just live by conditions and understand a little more about what is there to be conditioned for higher and more confidence of the truth of what is there right now, how little it is, and how a little more it is, and how it's not forgotten when it's there by condition, experiences, and object right now. No one can make anything arise or by conditions. So in a day, does anyone thinking about the truth of that very moment, no matter what, it's there to be known. It can be known when it's there to be known. Just live to understand the truth, that's all. The truth is actually, life is so short, just in a moment, arising and falling away, never to arise again at all in samsara, only once in samsara, in this life and other life, it cannot arise more than just one moment. Is that true? It doesn't mean that I try to let go the idea of self, but the understanding of the truth is a little firmer to understand life as it is, a little more, to know that seeing in this life, as long as death hasn't come yet, but after death, they're seeing again, hearing again, like now. And what is in between, it's not long. So from seeing here, it's seeing there. The same seeing, the same characteristic, but not the same one. Is this not life? Each life, only seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, liking. So what is there in this life? No matter what, is conditioned to arise just in a moment and then gone. Live with understanding the truth, less clinging, less wishing to have such and such. Understand what is wholesome and what is unwholesome, what is beneficial and what is not disadvantageous. No use at all to cling, to like, and whatever is there can be known whether it's worth just in a moment and then gone. Little by little, it doesn't hurt anyone at all to understand the truth because the truth cannot be changed. It's the way it is, but it's not anyone or anything at all. Is that true? Just live with understanding the truth. And the truth develops little by little, so very subtle, until it can be moment of realizing what is heard and what is firm confidence of the truth. That it appears as it's so true. Seeing arises and it can appear to the moment of panya is there, understand the nature of it, and gone. Both panya and seeing, no matter what arises, it falls away instantly. even right now, by conditions. From moment now to moment in the evening, night, morning again, and on and on. Keep on. Condition this moment, the other moment, non-stop. Is it pleasant to just arise and fall away, no one at all? When right understanding is so keen, it can see the uselessness of that which is there, just when it arises and then falls away, instant. Let's cling to the possession, fame, wealth, or anything, and the idea of I. It's just different realities. Better to know, better to understand, better to realize the truth. It let go all kinds of unwholesomeness, gradually, different stages, until all gone, never arise again, because the end of conditions, ignorance, and attachment. Is it useful to understand the truth? It is just like it's heard about the impermanence of seeing, hearing, thinking, liking, any moment, all gone, unknowingly, until it shows up stage by stage, letting go the idea of something from that which appears little by little until it's just as it is, not anyone or anything at all. Can the truth be realized?
Liệu sự thật có thể được giác ngộ không ạ?
Dạ, nếu tích lũy giờ trí thì sẽ có ạ.
If there's sufficient accumulations of panya, then the truth can be realized. Ajahn.
Is it now, little by little? To be truthful to the truth. Right understanding is very truthful.
Con nhớ là trong những buổi pháp đàm trước thì Ajahn con nói là cái thiện pháp mà là ba la mật thì nó không nhất thiết phải sinh cùng trí tuệ, nhưng mà nó phải được duyên bởi nền tảng của trí tuệ. As I remember, Ajahn said in other discussions that the kusalas that are paramis don't have to necessarily be accompanied by understanding, but it must have the foundation of understanding.
Does understanding arise each moment, even right now? To be truthful to the truth. But understanding is there, enrooted, to be developed with their moment of considering, attending to the truth, little by little. Not just only thinking about it as it's not anyone is gone. That's not enough. That's why there are other realities too to support understanding, to develop on and on. For example, virya. See, now seeing arise doesn't fall away is so true, so it can be realized, but not with ignorance and attachment, but all kinds of akusla cannot understand the truth, but it hides the truth because its function is to cling to that. So, how can there be the understanding of the truth at that moment of clinging? Because the understanding understands that it's not there anymore, it's gone all the time. Useless to cling to that which is not there at all, never to arise again. So it's not just one's own idea about to let go without understanding the characteristic which appears to be no one and no thing at all. Visible objects, see. It's understood. What is seen is visible. But what about now? Is it just visible object seen or something that's seen? What is right and what is wrong? And when it's right, it appears to panya, right understanding. But now, even is there, visible object, it does not appear to ignorance, which takes it for something like a doll, a bed, a chair, a picture, whatever is there, or as something, atta, the word of atta. No understanding at all about what is there, only so very shortly. As short as no one can imagine how short it is. But right understanding, firm confidence of the way it is, it just arises and falls away instantly. And what is meant by instantly, just arises and then falls away instantly, before any other reality can arise. But now many realities seem to appear together, but in truth, each one has to arise and appear just one at a time only. But the rapidity of the arising and falling away condition the shape and form, make it known as something. The idea of something is that instantly. That's why hearing again and again, consider the truth again and again until it develops little by little to get closer and closer to the truth of it, to touch it, to impinge on it gradually, little by little, before it can wear away the idea of self or something. It's just the world of visible object. Is that right? At moment of seeing, to be truthful to the truth. And the beginning of understanding develop on and on and on, firmer and firmer confidence. It's only that which can be seen. See, what appears as different colors, each moment has to be known clearly what is it, no matter what kind of shade and so on, but not anything at all. Is that true? So there are other moments of thinking about that which appears as nimitta, shape and form, to be known as this or that because of the shape of short or long, high or low, see, condition, different shape and form. The eye, the eyebrow, and the hair and the nose, all are there, taken for something as mine or me all the time. So we live in the world of ignorance and atta, wrong understanding. Never understand the truth. It's not that anymore, no matter when. It's gone instantly. And the truth can be realized when there's firm confidence enough to condition the moment of penetrate the truth as it is now covered up. And no one can understand it. Only right understanding understands. The other realities cannot understand the truth. It has its own quality, characteristic, and function, never change. That's the way to know that what we take for I, composed of different realities, unknown, covered up, eons and eons and eons, so very thick, very deep. How can it be let me go? Little by little, stage by stage. So now, understanding the truth, that seeing is not anyone, is the beginning to understand the truth. Because there is seeing in life, hearing, smelling, whatever it life can be studied to have firm confidence. Otherwise, when it's not firm, it is I who try to know it, try to experience it. But experience what? Not the truth of what is there now or any moment. Can attachment understand the truth that it's not there to be attached to at all? What we learned are there in life, any moment, but it's not known as it is. That's why what is meant by enlightenment, that level of panya, so great, so sharp, so keen, that it can penetrate the truth as it's there naturally in life right now. Normal life.
And Cam, I think we've discussed that just like anger can suddenly arise unexpectedly, seemingly out of the blue, because the habit, the tendency from countless lifetimes has been accumulated. In the same way, the paramis, like in the case of the bodhisattva, even when no understanding is arising, the paramis conditioned by understanding in the past can arise and accumulate and develop. So by Pakatu Upanishya Pachya, the habits, the accumulations are so very complex. We don't know what kusala, the understanding arising now, may condition in future, but we know the paramis cannot develop without the development of understanding. So when for the bodhisattva, the paramis were developing and continuing to accumulate, even in those lives when not hearing the teachings. We know there was the hearing of the teachings before and the understanding in the past that conditioned those paramis to arise. But as Ajahn said, we can spend a lot of time trying to work out why and how and what. But what about now? That's more useful. What about understanding the kusala now, or the akusala, or the seeing, or the hearing, and knowing that whatever Dhamma arises now must be by conditions. So there's firm confidence that every Dhamma arises by conditions in one way or another. And understanding now is so precious because it conditions more understanding, more kusala of all kinds to continue accumulating now and in lives to come. I'm wondering if Tan, sister, has any more comments or questions about anything that has been discussed or said so far.
Xin cảm ơn Achan và Sarah. Thì con thấy rất là lợi ích khi nghe về điều này. Tại vì cần phải tất cả đều phải dựa trên cái nền tảng là trí hiểu biết. Như bà Aja nói là cái sinh khởi rồi diệt đi ngay thì nó có khả ái hay không, và cái thấy thì không phải là ai cả, thì đây mới là cái khởi sự để hiểu về sự thật. Thì đó cũng là cái hiểu biết dựa trên sinh khởi cùng cái niềm tin để có thể hiểu về tất cả các pháp ạ.
Thank you, Ajahn, and thank you, Sarah. I find it very beneficial to hear about all this. And as Ajahn say, it has to be based on the foundation of understanding. And Ajahn talks about what arises and passes away, is it worth clinging to, or about seeing, it's seeing now, me, or it's just seeing. So that understanding is very important to develop. Thank you.
Yes, that's a good comment, because the purpose of all the study and considering is the understanding that there are just different dhammas arising and falling away, not worth clinging to at all. So we think of people, we think of situations, but actually there are just different dhammas arising and falling away. No one there, no one here, nothing in truth, just different dhammas arising for an instant and then gone. So no matter whether it's kusala or akusala now, panya or ignorance, they're all dukkha, they're all unsatisfactory because they all arise and are gone. It doesn't matter at all. We find it so important what arises in life, but each one is a Dhamma that has gone instantly to be forgotten. So whatever arises isn't worth clinging to at all, not even deep panya or any Dhamma, because it's gone immediately. And it's so fortunate to hear and consider this point as you do, just for the letting go, a little more letting go of the deeply held clinging, the deeply held clinging to the idea of I, and the deep clinging to having more kusala and so on. So understanding leads to letting go of that clinging little by little.
Biết cô Thanh còn muốn đưa thêm điểm nào hay là có phát biểu gì tiếp nối cái phần vừa rồi không?
Dạ, thì vậy con xin muốn được nghe cái về trí mà ở khía cạnh nó xả ly á, thì anh có hay nghe vậy nhưng mà không hiểu nó xả ly như thế nào vậy.
Yes, we often talk about understanding conditions, letting go. I would like to hear more about this point. How the understanding conditions, letting go, or we talk about detachment as being one aspect of understanding.
Like seeing now, or what is seen now. Usually we find it important what is seen or what is heard, but it's just color for an instant and then gone. It's actually insignificant, of no importance at all. It's because of building up a long story about what is seen and then clinging to the idea of what is seen. But what is seen now, as Ajahn often says, is just a dot of color and then gone. So beginning to appreciate that there is only Dhamma, which is gone immediately, helps us to consider the truth. And there can be a little letting go, a little less minding what is seen, what is heard, what is touched, what is tasted. And usually it's something there, someone there. And this is condition for clinging a lot, clinging to the dear one, clinging to the place, clinging to the situation. But actually, there's no person, no place, no situation. It's just a dream, a fantasy about the one that is dear, the place that is dear, the home, and so on. So I think that only understanding can lead to a little letting go, a little letting go of the great importance we attach to what is seen, what is heard, what is thought about, someone, something, by realizing the truth that there are just different dharmas arising and falling away. And of course, most of the day, there's ignorance and no understanding, clinging again and again. But there can be glimmers of understanding, moments of understanding the truth. And at those moments, there is peace because there's no clinging at those times. And it's the same with kusala. Usually there's a lot of clinging to being a good person, to performing merit, to being the kind one. But again, it's just a fantasy clinging to the story about I. So instead of developing the kusala one dreams about, it's just developing more and more clinging, more and more attachment to I. So again, only understanding can begin to see the danger, the harm of all that clinging and all that misunderstanding about I and the wishing to be good. So gradually there can be a little less trying and minding and wishing to be good, just understanding life as it is, because it can't be changed. It's just as it is at this moment. And it is that understanding that leads to less clinging, less minding about I and my goodness and so on. Slowly, slowly. And it's so precious because it really is the gradual letting go of the big baggage, the heavy weight of clinging to I little by little, by realizing there is no I at all. No I, no the other, no thing, no one there, just dharmas. Why cling so much and make oneself so miserable just over different dharmas which arise and fall away? When we hear it, it's actually quite ridiculous, but the clinging and the ignorance and the wrong view is very deeply rooted. That's why we have to listen and discuss and hear about the truth, about seeing now, hearing now, kindness, meanness, pleasant feeling, unpleasant feeling, different dharmas again and again and again, so that there can be the gradual letting go of the idea of I and something here, something there. Mm-hmm.
I'll just add briefly that we cling to life, this life in samsara. We think it's worth living. We would like it to continue, and we would like it to continue beyond the end of this lifespan. And the reason there is that perception of life being something worthwhile is that life is not seen as it truly is, namely momentary phenomena arising and falling away, having no substance. And thus, when understanding is developed, which sees that the present moment is just different realities of momentary passing, then that is a condition for gradually for letting go of the wish to continue living or continue to being reborn time after time. So that's the connection between the development of understanding and letting go. And Ajahn will have plenty more to add, I'm sure.
Is there any difference between understanding and ignorance? See, is there any difference between ignorance and understanding? Quite opposite,
Có.
right? At moment of no understanding, it is ignorance. Never understand the truth of what is there at all. It appears as something all the time. In truth, it appears not as it is, because it appears by way of nimitta, the moment of one reality, like seeing. If we don't talk about other moment in between, unknown all the time. So at moment of understanding, it's not moment of ignorance of what is there as it is. Begin to understand the truth. What is there is already conditioned, so it has a reason, so it appears and gone. Not yet realize the moment of arising and falling away, but consider the truth. If it does not arise, it cannot be there. And as it has a reason, it's gone. Because at the moment, it's not that reality. The understanding of the truth is different from ignorance. So understanding itself only, letting go, wrong understanding and ignorance. So how does it gradually eliminate ignorance? Because of understanding. So only understanding itself can understand the truth, no matter by way of intellectual or directly or realizing, experiencing clearly. It has to be right understanding of the reality which is there. And in life, even it's not that moment yet, realizing the arising and falling away, but the truth is that each moment changes by conditions, from seeing to hearing to thinking to liking, so on, and gone. Whilst considering, can understand, it's so useless for what arising because it just arises and gone, never arise again. So what is the use of that which keeps on conditioned to arise? As long as there are conditions, proper condition for what arises, it is arising and falling away instantly. So understand deeper and clearer condition understanding the useless of just what is there. Before it's there, it's not there, and after it's there, it's gone. What's the use of samsara? Non-stop. Just a moment of appearing and disappearing. No one there at all. Only wrong understanding. Condition clings so much about what is there, as it permanent, as it's there. In truth, no one and not anything there at all. If there's no thought about it, no moment of thinking about it, where is it? So understanding the reality, the ultimate truth of each moment, that's the way it is. And at moment of right understanding, it let go ignorance. Gradually, little by little, it also conditioned the elimination of attachment. At moment of understanding right now, seeing the danger of that which keeps on arising, falling again, and arising and falling again, non-stop, no one there at all, and what has been arisen, never to rise again after it has gone. Only that is life, nothing at all to be permanent or to stay on, even just for more moments than one moment. So, what is there? Wrong understanding because of ignorance. But when there is understanding, it's let go. No need to try to let go. But understanding itself let go ignorance and attachment and other unwholesome reality by its way, not by we want it to be at all. That's why I have more confidence of Dhamma and Anatta. It let go ignorance and other unwholesome reality very gradually. When it's firm, nobody can change. It's now, but it's not. It does not show up as it is yet, until right understanding is so sharp. From not understanding what is there now as what is heard, to be moment of right understanding begins to understand a little more, deeper and deeper, more subtle, until the subtlety, the more understanding, the more subtle right understanding is, that is so very, very subtle, beyond expectation, beyond imagination. The truth is there. But now it does not appear as it is yet, because it can appear as it is only to right understanding, which understand that now as it's there, as it is, never change, no matter what time. It's there very shortly and then gone. So, among all realities arising and falling away, right understanding is the best because it can understand more and more, clearer and clearer, keener and keener, sharper and sharper, to just understand what is there, stage by stage. Unexpectedly, when will it be that moment, like now, who expect to be this moment of seeing this object, not other object? That is the anothness of everything, every moment, no one there at all. Just understand firmer whether it's true or not. When it's true and it's there now arising and falling away, it can be known, but not by ignorance, but by panya, the understanding, begin to understand what is not understood before to be object of considering little by little, even the moment of thinking that it's real. Hardness now is so real. It arises, it falls away. It has to be known. Otherwise, it's something hard. It's something hot. It's something, see, whatever it is, not as something as before. Is that right? Touching now, it's hard or it's soft, heat or cold. See, any moment it's there. Just any moment of touching is there and gone, even right now. So what about other reality in thought, as a dream, from head to toe? In truth, not at all. Only realities, different kinds by conditions, by kamma, by citta, by uttu, or by ahara. Buddha taught about 45 years to have confidence of the truth, parami, adidana parami. It is as it is, arising and falling away, but it appears as nimitta of one kind of reality, now nimitta of seeing, right? Nimitta of thinking, many moments, not just one moment, only one moment at a time, depending on whether it's the nimitta of seeing or hearing. What about the other realities which experience the same object, but it cannot be known? Because what appears now is only the nimitta of seeing or nimitta of hearing. 6 doorways, one by one. And one by one, think about it. It's not just one moment of seeing right now. Many moments with other moment in between unknown. It does not appear. What appears is, no matter what, it appears as the nimitta of seeing. How deep it is. And the understanding, let go. Attachment or try to make it known. The truth of this moment. Not at anyone's will at all. So the firm understanding, let go, ignorance and attachment, the second noble truth, until what is there, which has been understood before, begin to be object of understanding, no matter it's hard. It's moment of thinking of the truth at the beginning, and when it's more by condition, it understands more about even hardness or that which experience hardness. What is there is real, can be developed, can be object of understanding, very gradually by condition, little by little. But right understanding understand the truth of what is there appearing as nimitta of that reality. The deep understanding of the subtlety of all kinds of whatever now appearing, condition, moment of letting go, attachment, and ignorance, letting go the idea of try so hard to do any way to experience it. To experience it's not by understanding, but by ignorance and attachment, so it cannot realize the truth. Learn to understand the truth, and that's the moment of letting go ignorance and clinging. Even to the word of truth in Tipitaka has to be conditioned, has to be studied. So very careful to let go. Clinging to the word. It's not me, what is it? It's just thinking about the first round of Ariya Satya, because it's not direct awareness with understanding of what is there now. Normally, because that's the way Dhamma is, it cannot change. Hardness is hardness. Hearing is hearing. So we can understand a little more. Panya cannot arise alone without condition. It has to be conditioned, and other factors, other cetasika, to support it. For example, manasikara, attention to the characteristic which is there, when it's there. For example, heat somewhere in the body, see, it's there, arises and falls away, unknowingly that it's just a reality, conditioned to arise and then gone. So natural, so common. That's why it is the way it is. The right path, right understanding, developed by conditions. Even now, attention to the meaning of it, wisely or unwisely. That's why without attention, attending to the characteristic, to the nature, to the truth of it, it's impossible to understand it just by thinking. That's why before any one reality can show up, anotherness by anotherness. It's there unexpectedly, even right now, when it's ready to arise. It arises, and Panya knows, no thought about it. It suddenly, instantly arises by condition. No expectation at all for whatever is there arising right now, as it is. But understanding begins to understand a little more, clearer and clearer, sharper and sharper, deeper and deeper, little by little. At that moment, it let go ignorance because it understands what is there. Ignorant is ignorant of the truth of what is there. But right understanding is opposite. It understands the truth of what is there, little by little, stage by stage. And who knows that that is the subtlety of the fourth Ariya Satya, the path, the way leading to realize the truth of what is there now. Not only one reality, not only one word, but many realities and many words about it to understand the truth, which is very slight difference. For example, the manasikara, the phassa, the vitaka, see, all are different. They are different. They cannot be the same. But without hearing, considering, who knows? The condition for each moment, Sankhara-Dhamma. Nothing can arise alone at all. And what are there together? They cannot appear together, but one can appear at one moment. Even they are there together. So what is there in life is known by Panjati, the words which represent the reality. For example, tiredness. What is it? It's real, not I. What is the nature of it? No need to use the word, but the characteristic which is there. Tired. See, begin to understand. To understand that it's not anyone. It cannot be anything, but its characteristic is there. A reality. See, not the body, because the body cannot experience anything at all. It cannot feel, it cannot like, it cannot remember. So it's a reality, which is not that which sees or hears, that which experiences the object now, but it's the reality which one says, tired. What is it? It's real. Learn to understand the truth, little by little, when it's there to be known, not just in the book. It's not citta, it's not cetasika, it's not rupa, and so on. Consider only the meaning, but the reality is there to be known. when there is the understanding of the truth, what is it? What is the differences between the reality which experiences the object and the reality which does not experience object at all? So the body, can it feel? See, can it be tired? See, it has to be one's own understanding of the nature of that moment, whether it is what, to let go the idea that it's I or me or mine. Tired, see. So understanding let go ignorance. Only understanding can let go ignorance, but right understanding cannot arise alone. There must be other reality support as parami too at different moments. But right understanding condition the kusala or wholesomeness with understanding, based on understanding, not as no understanding at all. For example, at moment of giving, is it present or can it be unpleasant? Different realities, no one can change its characteristic at all. But they arise together, so complex, not understanding correctly what is what, without considering the difference very carefully beyond the word, because it's moment of understanding the reality, a characteristic which is there. So when there is the understanding of that particular reality, after hearing or reading about it, no doubt about what does it mean, because the reality has been gradually known at moment when it's there. That's the way understanding only can let go ignorance and other unwholesome reality. And the one is attachment or clinging of that which appears unknowingly, instantly, slightly as asava. See? So after understanding the truth right now, when one come to what is there in Tipitaka, no doubt about it, different level of attachment, different words for different level of just one reality. So now, the difference between irritation and anger, see, the same characteristic, very slight or very strong, until it's moment of revenge, not forget, want to do something to harm the other, see. All are dhammas, and right understanding begins to understand what is wholesome and what is unwholesome. Understanding the unwholesome, condition, letting go, such moment of wrong deeds or wrong speech, and understand the benefit of wholesomeness. It's moment when there is no akusala, which used to arise all the time or almost all the time. So life changed by the words of the truth from the enlightenment, the very, very beneficial miracle beyond any kinds of miracle, because it can change the moment of akusala to be less and to be moment of understanding instead. Is that the teachings of the Buddha? Only Abhidhamma is not enough, but on and on about its reality in daily life can condition the understanding of Abhidhamma, different levels of one reality. To understand, no matter whether it's so slight or so strong, it's not self, it's my condition, little by little, from life to life, to be Khanti Parami, patient, to understand that which is now not understood. But there can be time for understanding to arise from considering and hearing on and on and on. And also other kind of parami too. Because at moment of parami, no matter what kind, akusa cannot arise. So the more kusala arise, the more condition for understanding to develop. Not at will, not by anyone, but the way Dhamma is. That is the understanding a little firmer of anatta-ness. And each moment is so anatta. It depends on understanding, how much understanding of the anatta of this moment is there already. No one can make it arise, and it's gone already too.
You, Chan. And you said earlier that only Abhidhamma is not enough. Can you clarify what does that mean?
Again, please.
Earlier, Ashan said that only Abhidhamma is not enough. So by Abhidhamma, do you refer to the Tipitaka or do you refer to us? So if you can find that would be helpful.
What are there in life, no matter what life? What are there? Only different realities, unknown that it's a reality conditioned to arise. Only these words can it let go, ignorance and clinging to what is there now. Or I am hearing, I remember, or I are there. But by way of Suttanta, by way of Ajana, by way of Thatu, by way of Paticca by way of different characteristics of different person, which is taken to be someone there in the past and now in the present, to understand that what is there from ignorance can be understood little by little. In daily life, that there is the idea of I all the time, without hearing and considering about the different manners, different aspects of what is there shows up to be a moment of crime or moment of some kind or so be understanding person, forgive whatever that no one or the other cannot forgive and so on. As example, as real life full of ignorance. But in truth, what are there are only different realities, different from each moment in samsara, not just only in this life. Learning to understand the truth which is covered up. Not everyone is interested in understanding the truth. What we are talking about It's not like what they like to hear, sports or plays or so many things. That's why all are dhammas, only for those who listen and understand it. So very precious because life is so short. Should it, what is there be understood before death, or just die without any understanding at all of what is there from birth and each moment in life? See, all adhamas, ignorance, cannot understand the truth. It's so very precious. And attachment, not realizing the moment which is not permanent at all. So very short, just rise and falls away, different by conditions, uncountable, not to be counted because it's just only one at a time, never to arise again, and so on. That's why those are different realities, just arise to be there as it is, and gone, unknown. And it's different from the moment of begin to understand the truth. What is that can be known as it is, because it's there. It can be the moment of understanding, the moment of prove the truth, understand whether what is heard is true or not. See, it's not wrong word, because now what is there is different from seeing to hearing to thinking to like to dislike to be remembered and forgotten and so on. All are conditioned realities and then die. See, life is so short by conditions. Some life is long and some life is short by conditions. But no one just arise to be born without to die at all. What arises falls away. When there's what is born must be die, not be that person any longer. Is that true? Just learn to understand the truth, to let go the clinging of this life. Because as soon as death is there, no more this personality of this person or this being at all. Never remember if there is story about that person. Can it be that one, I or you or anyone? Who knows? It's just thinking about what is there without any understanding of the truth. That even thinking is not permanent. It's not man or woman. It's just a reality which thinks about what is heard and what is seen, what is smelled. Only that in life. See, and if it's not yet the level of panya which realize the truth, one does not see the danger of what is said. Just arise and falls away. Boring. When will it stop to arise? Much better than just arise and falls away. But it has to be greater panya than that. That is just thinking, not directly experience the truth. How great panya can penetrate the truth each moment. That it's useless. Just arise and falls away non-stop. Never get out. Never get away from the way of samsara. Keep on going, 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 and going on and on. Kilesa, Kamma, Vipaka, not by anyone, but by their own nature. The characteristic of any reality cannot be changed. Seeing just arise to see. So, can it be I see? Begin to consider the truth, to let go ignorance. The way to get rid of ignorance is the moment of understanding the truth. Until it begin to see the uselessness, the dangers of that which just arises and falls away non-stop because of ignorance and craving, attachment to that. And no one can consider for the other. It has to be only that person's consideration about the truth, to be truthful to the truth. What is there now is not there. So, do you still cling to that which is there, which is gone now, each moment, depending on conditions? That's the way to understand the anotherness of Dhamma. Just be true to the truth, that's all. Satya Barami with Viriya Barami, with Khanti Barami, to be Nekhamma Barami, Dana Barami, Panya Barami, Metta Barami.
Bận Cường như có câu hỏi đúng không? Thầy Bận Cường.
Kính thưa A Chan, cho con xin hỏi một câu là sự phát triển của các thiện pháp xét vật về mặt nội tại thì nó là gì ạ?
Xét về mặt nội tại có nghĩa là sao?
Xét về mặt bản chất ấy ạ, xét về mặt nội.
Em có thể đặt câu hỏi em theo cách khác, thay cho cái từ là xét về mặt nội tại để chị có thể hiểu ý.
Cái duyên những cái duyên chính yếu cho sự phát triển của các thiện pháp ạ.
You'd like to know the main conditions for the development of kusala.
Only one reality which understands.
Chỉ có một thực tại có thể hiểu.
Tức là chẳng nói là chỉ có cái thực tại là thực tại trí hiểu, là thực tại trí tuệ, chỉ có thực tại đó.
Mà chỉ có một thực tại có thể để hiểu được điều đấy đúng không ạ?
What Ajahn is explaining is that kusala cannot be developed without understanding. It can be accumulated if it arises, the question was about its development, and development requires understanding of some level. So understanding of the samatha kind or understanding of the insight kind. So mundane kusala needs an appreciation of the value of kusala in order to be developed. And of course, insight, kusala, needs the understanding of conditioned dhammas to be developed. And that's why Ajahn said only one reality, the reality which understands. That is the condition for the development of kusala.
Without understanding, however much one dreams about or would like to have more kusala, how can it be known what kusala is? For example, metta, one can dream about having great metta, but if there's no understanding what metta is when it arises, different from the near enemy of attachment, how can it possibly be developed? Without understanding, everything is mixed up together. So that's why there has to be understanding from the beginning to understand what these qualities are and to understand that they are dhammas. They don't belong to me or you or anyone. Otherwise, one may think that one is developing great kindness and generosity every time one makes a donation at the temple, and great metta every time one takes care of one's family. But actually, it's not such a parami, it's not truthfulness, because one is just kidding oneself by looking at the outer appearance, thinking that each time there's more, a greater donation, there's greater generosity, or each time there's more friendliness to one's neighbors or family members, there's more metta. But this is not any understanding or development of kusala. And what about the strong desire, the strong wishing, the strong attachment to have more kusala? When there's all this wishing to have kusala, is any kusala being developed or just more wishing and desire? So that's why all the paramis have to develop with understanding, the truthfulness, the confidence in what is right, the letting go of ignorance and clinging, nekama, parami, and so on. But understanding is the key. Without understanding, nothing is known about any reality in life.
Also, when we mention developing, like developing, the word developing must have panya to make it possible to develop, and the it's the increasing of understanding by listening the teachings, and listening the teachings is the understanding the teaching, which needs understanding to understand them, and is the understanding of the of the teachers, and it's one's own understanding, and that cannot be. It's not like something that we can decide to have or decide to increase or to develop. It's the way it is. Like some people have more kusala, some people have less kusala, some people have more understanding, some people have less understanding. But it's when it's little kusala, it cannot be lots of kusala overnight or suddenly. It's and when it's little understanding, it's listening, being exposed to the more and more to the understanding, so to make it possible for one's own understanding to grow. But when it's little, it's not the no easy way to. Actually, probably there's no way to increase it in any visible way, like the simile of the knife handle. Yeah, no easy answer to the question. No answer to the question, I think.
Cường có ý kiến gì không? Thank you, Doctor.
Sadhu. Em thấy những ý kiến đưa ra là rất là tuyệt vời ạ. Đúng, quả thực là em không nghĩ là nó phải bắt nguồn, tức là phải khởi nguồn, phải bắt đầu từ cái trí hiểu được cái đặc tính của thiện pháp, và hiểu được cái lợi lạc, lợi ích, cái sự trong sáng của các cái thiện pháp. Và chính vì cái sự hiểu đấy nên là các thiện pháp nó phát triển nhờ chính những lợi ích của nó.
I think that all your comments are wonderful. I think that it has to start with the understanding the characteristic of kusala, and understanding the benefits of kusala. And without that understanding, kusala can be developed.
Without understanding, there is just clinging. Like even now, when one would like to or wishes to have more kusala, what is there? Only understanding can know.
Discussion reaches to the end. So thank you so much for all the valuable comments. See you next week.